Quack. Hey, Cinder. How you doing? Good evening. Welcome back to yet another Monday night. Yes, it's been quite the lazy weekend, which is nice. And it's been a less than lazy day at work, because that was a bit intense. Hey, Va. How you doing? Good to see you here. Alrighty, well, yeah, welcome along to another Mechworks on a Monday night. Much more hobby time. And we are back. We are back to do some more on the Battle Mallard. See how we can get along with this thing. Now that looks fuzzy. Look fuzzy to anyone else? That doesn't look too sharp in on the camera. Let me see what I can do about that. 1 second. Do 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 do. There we go. I think. No. Yep. Maybe not. I think that looks good. Look sharper? It looks sharper to me. It's gonna be a little fuzzy down there, but it looks nice and sharp up there. So I'm gonna go with that. It was on 280. It was on 260 before, instead of 280. And yeah, work was interesting. I'm not gonna say a pain. It was just very much a very Monday. Lots of stuff. Nothing impossible, nothing too difficult, but just a lot of it, if you know what I mean. Anyway, get myself sorted. Okay, so yeah, but yeah, generally okay. It's been a pretty good weekend. It was a nice quiet weekend. Didn't do too much. I'm mainly recovering from feeling ill, to be honest. But hey, I'm better now. Oh, although one thing I did do on the weekend, where is it over here? Now, every now and then you get a model that you suddenly realise you love painting. This thing, my Hellhound, the Warhammer 40k Imperial Guard flame tank. This was incredibly cool to paint. It was good fun to assemble. It was even more fun to paint. It's just a very satisfying miniature to work on. This one, really quite enjoyed it. Yeah, you don't see them very often. Not a lot of people use hellhounds. I like their use in the rules. They're fast and they're annoying. They are a threat, and people often ignore them, and that's when they get the most effect out of it. And you see here, that's an inquisitorial symbol, because the commander of this particular group I've chosen as one of the new Inquisitor models. So there's a bit of fluff behind this one. Yeah, so it's good fun. Enjoying the camo, enjoying the whole thing about it. Nice to do something a little bit bigger, a little bit larger scale. Very cool, fun. But so tonight my plan is to try and finish at least one of the models. It's either going to be the Battle Mallard or the Lobster. I'm not certain which one's going to end up getting knocked over tonight, but I'd say it's possibly the Lobster. Not a lot left to go on that one, but the Battle Mallard is also very, very entertaining. So I think I'll work on the Mallard. I think I'm going to keep working on the Mallard at the moment, because last week I managed to get that side looking pretty good with a fake wear and a fake reflection, basically forcing some definition on it there, and at the back as well. Trying to get the plasma cannon to glow is harder than I thought, but that we're getting there. Still not happy about the feet, but again, I'll get down to the feet and figure them out as well as we go. So yeah, so I'm going to jump on the other side here and start working on this bit. Now that lighting, I'm not entirely sure if that's... Oh, no, that's too bright then. Look at that. I've got a small sun in the corner. And let's move that. White balance fixes itself again. I'm actually going to be investing in one of those LED ring lights to see if we can step this up again. But enough of talk, enough of theory. Let's get into it. Oh, also, this could be interesting. I've hit my maximum limit for caffeine, I think, today. I don't think I can possibly have any more. So sadly, tonight is water. That's right. I have a mug of water next to my water for painting in, so it's going to be a little harder to disguise if I make that mistake, I can tell you that. So let's kick it off with some, I need my browns again. But while I'm finding all my paints, how are we doing? How is everyone tonight? Or today, wherever you happen to be in the world? I'm hoping everyone's going well, but tell me about your weekend or week thus far. Yeah, you see bad things happening. Both of you have no faith in my ability. Actually, no, you've got excellent track record to prove that you're probably right. But anyway, need that brown. Where's me grey? As you can tell, I'm not totally on top of my game tonight. I'm a little delayed. Which one was that one? That's a darker grey. I think I may have a bit of a problem. I think my other grey dried out. If the more I think about that. Hey, hon, darling, could you grab me the plastic bag on the bench? Please, sweetie? Oh. I've got a bag full of stuff that I'm looking to replace. I just want to see if I stuck that other grey in there. Thank you, hon. Yeah, there it is, right there. Terrific. I'll put that over there. Very nice, Var. Very, very nice. Outskirts of the capital. Okay, capital city. Pick up the Indomitus box. Oh, such a good box. I'm not actually going to get the box. I'm just going to get the core rulebook. But wow, talk about a good value kit. More hobby stuff, good. And you got some D&D in. Well, that's the best news. How did the D&D go? I was meant to have a D&D game on the weekend. Unfortunately, I was sick. So I am very, very angry at my immune system right now because it's not only making me feel ill, but cutting into nerd time. So that's just unacceptable, really. Although I did get to hang out with my wife a lot, which was very nice. So there's the upside. Got more time with Jenna. And she deserves more time anyway. And how about you, Cinder? And Silence, if you're there. I haven't checked who's on the stream tonight yet, but I try not to concern myself with that too much because then let's just focus on the moment. You're good, Cinder. That's good. That's very good to hear. Where's my good brush gone? Oh, you're joking. It's all the way over there, isn't it? Oh, well, no, I'm just gonna new brush time. Haven't used these ones yet. New brush. And what's this? What is that? That's a number. What is that? That's a number 40. What's the other one? Number 30. Do I want a 40 or a 30? I wonder if there's any. Sorry, everyone. I'm just being useless. I'm going to go for. What is that? 30? I'm going to go for 30. It looks a little thicker or more usable for what I'm doing. Let's say we brought in this kid from our club as a new player, and his good character got introduced to the good party this weekend, and at least this time he didn't accidentally get eaten by dragons. Only almost eaten. Well, I suppose that's good. Only almost eaten. Yeah. The party in my current game have got their hands on a spelljammer, which they need to get home because they're stuck on a plane that's nowhere near their home. And so the next session is going to pretty much be, well, Sky Pirates. I'm pretty sure they're heading towards either grand larceny of the skies. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure they're just heading towards that. They've got themselves a flying ship. I can't see anything particularly noble coming out of this arrangement. I can see a lot of things very fun coming out of this arrangement. And look, to be fair, as the GM, I arranged it for them to be able to get hold of it. I set that up in the world as an option for them, and so it's technically my fault. But I do love a good story, and this lot getting themselves on a flying ship only lends towards good stories. That and I love that, and I absolutely love the Stardust movie, which I recently watched, and that's got personally the iconic flying ship. So, whoa, wow, okay. In the Evil campaign, okay, so you've got Evil campaign as well. You're so high level that okay can turn into an adult black doe, and the kid's character ran in the room. Hold on. Okay, so you've got two. You looks like you've got two different campaigns running against each other. Is that right? That's kind of cool. If that's what you're doing, that sounds very, very cool. I'm not sure if I can handle that, to be honest. I don't know if I don't know which. I don't know if I don't want to see my very creative crew get full tilt into evil campaign mode. I don't know. I don't know if any storyline would survive that, because the downside of having such an incredibly creative, forward, and very clever group of players is that they can weaponize any scenario to their liking, or at least their benefit, which is very cool as a GM. Also very frustrating as a GM because sometimes you just can't control your own storyline. What's this? Cinder, you're angry at yourself accidentally putting down colours on your line art for the cancelled ducks. Only knows. Oh, so you've got colours on your line art layer. Yee, that can take some time to fix. I mean, yeah. All right, there's I've tried to mimic the weathering on both sides. See, I spent for ages getting that right last week. Getting it right on this side and this side. Yeah, I'll just casually do it while I'm talking about D&D stuff. Typical. But as VAR, let's see. So one of your players in the evil campaign is a GM, and in the good campaign. Okay, so yeah, you jump between. That's kind of cool. That's very cool, actually. See, I'd just be worried about the players in the evil campaign, coming up with ways to make an alliance with the good players in the good campaign, and since they are playing themselves or against themselves in both, they just end up they literally multitask into teaming up with themselves. Actually, that's really cool. That's really cool. I've just figured out how to fix a plot hole of my own making from the previous games. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna let them play some of the people hunting themselves, and and if they're clever and smart about it, they may be able to deduce that they're not the bad guys in their own game. I can let them as characters in a separate storyline in the current game prove their own innocence. That could be very fun. Plus, these guys are, full on RPers. They will RP themselves into the dirt. They'll role play their characters to death, literally in-game death, if it serves the story that they've got in their head. It's kind of amazing. An amazing crew to roll with when it comes to the D&D stuff. That's looking not too bad. I reckon that's pretty good. The brown. Sorry, I'll do it at a better angle. What do you think of that? The brown looks suitable. Looks weathered. Still looks kind of duck-like, but it also looks a little sinister and a little hardcore. And yes, VAR, it is awesome that they can play like that. They're an amazing group. It just means every now and then they'll weaponize their skills and giving me a really hard time. But I'm glad you like the brown. Glad the brown is working. Okay, I'm dying with curiosity. When you said you went to the outskirts of the capital, Where is the capital, if you don't mind me asking? Very, very curious now. Just going to work on this. Put some more coloration down here. Got to fake that. Fake a weather line. Stockholm. Rightio. That's right. I remember that now. That's much more familiar. See, that's the trouble of I meet people and they've got awesome stories and it's like, yay, I met these cool people. Where are they from? No idea. I don't remember that bit. It's like names. I have such an easier time with nicknames than actual names. But thank you for indulging my poor memory, Var. There we go. Now, look at that shadow. Why do I've got lighting everywhere here, and I hang it up there, and we just got nothing but shadow in this back corner. What I need is to have most of my lights coming down this way, as opposed to trying to illuminate every way, because it's just not playing out the way I want it to. Not the way in my head it's meant to look. So I need a light just out of view on the camera here. Alright, I'll keep that in mind. But anyway, my technical complaining aside, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, that should be that is a normal response to encountering a dragon, I must say. Yeah, that's also a good point. Just running from a dragon. It's simply all you're going to do is die tired, really, isn't it? So, all right. Wonder. I won't. Yeah, I definitely think a lighting ring is going to make a huge difference here. Anyway, so the brown's good, the grey's good, the head's good. This is getting close to done. The feet suck. Don't like the feet at all. I'm glad someone saved... The Warlock saved him? The Warlock swung in to save the day? Okay. Suspicions increase. It's like the bard saying, trust me. Alright. Okay, council. What should I do for that? Should I leave that as a nice dry brush effect on the ankle there? Or should I try to put some colour into that, like a metallic or something else on there? Okay. Just try something with the camera. Having the light a little closer does make a bit of difference, but not enough to make it worth the effort. Okay. If I do it that way. Sorry. That's a bit better. That gets rid of some of the shadows. Yeah, okay. Now I just gotta fix the... Alright. And all my efforts are for naught again. Ah, well, just leave it as it is. I'll fix that later. Let's see. Quote from the Warlock: you can just use the kid to join us, and you'll also get powerful. He's the front person for the team. So yeah, all right. The Warlock gets to do the social stuff. Yeah, nothing terrifying about that at all. All right. So. I'm also wondering. All right, Cinder Pidgey says metal. Excellent, cool. So metal. You reckon? Yeah, metallic on there. Also got to figure out which parts I'm going to make metal in the back, because I want to have some of it look metallic, but not all of it. Because this is a big thing. This is a big construct, so there would be a lot of paint applied to it, irrespective. And then those flaming feet. What am I going to do with them? I mean, the dry brush kind of works. I'll do a little bit more, maybe. I might go back with an orange again, or maybe a little bit of brown. I'll go back with a bit of brown. Let's see how do a little bit of brown over, but it's a sort of a muddy brown. It's a dirty, ugly. It's like a muddy, almost orangish sort of brown. So it might, hopefully, be better than this horrible grey I've got going on down there. Because the grey works on everything else except the orange. It really doesn't work on the orange. Well, that's looking a bit better. That's taking the... What's up, hun? Oh, okay. It's taken the intensity out of it, at least. I still want it to look orange because that's what the council wants, but at the same time, I've got to be able to look at it myself and not hate what I've done. That looks a little better. Wow, what a party! That's quite a mess of characters, and a Kenku rogue and evil Chaos Marine. Yeah, that's not a shock. Alright. I think I'll go with that and just use some more washes to dirty that up a bit. I think I've done enough dry brushing there. I don't want to overdo it, but at the same time I don't want it to look, I don't know. It needs to look dirty, but not untidy, if you know what I mean. You never want it to look untidy. You never want your painting to look sloppy, but it's got to still represent an environmental effect for it to be any good at times. So it's a fine balance. And I am almost out of my favorite sepia. So I'm going to have to go get some more sepia soon. Now, Cinder, I was meant to talk to you this week about the t-shirt design and some other stuff I had some ideas for. I'm really sorry I didn't follow you up this week, mate. I was just not well. I'll try again this week, but fatigue and illness is a real factor. And yeah, guess who had to go and get the COVID test? I got stabbed in both nostrils with the pipe cleaner thing. Now, the nurse was very nice. It isn't actually a painful experience. It's not painful, okay? It's not painful. So if you need to get one, go get it done because it's not painful. But I will warn you, it is highly uncomfortable. It is not something I enjoyed, but it did not... It's not like anywhere near as bad a lot of people are saying. Unless you've got a phobia for things like that, at which point it's probably an absolute living nightmare, I'll admit. But yeah, the COVID test was not a fun time. I think the fact that I was then forced to stay home for a couple of days afterwards, that was also highly irritating. But, you know, you got to do it. I mean, I'm not about to go and be that guy who ignores it and goes and spreads it everywhere. Even if it wasn't COVID, if you just don't go handing your flu out, that's also very rude. So, okay, that doesn't look too bad. The sepia is not bad. The sepia is kind of working, but it's also just kind of making it orangey. Might actually... Do I have a brown wash? I used to have a brown wash. Don't know what happened to it. Ugh. Okay, this is not just brown. This is... I think that is mud. There's a lot of silt at the bottom of this one. This could be good. Okay, let's see. Sorry, I missed a couple of things in VAR. I did paint some AdMech that's creamy white, and they do look like they through them sludge and mud. Yeah, but you don't want it to look like you can't paint either. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I've done it before, like, oh, I'll make it muddy, and it's like, no, you just look like you don't know what you're doing. And that's not that's definitely not the look I'm going for. Oh, you haven't worked on it all week? Okay, yeah. Haven't worked on it either. That's cool. So I feel a lot less guilty now, Cinder. Although we still need to make it happen. It's just be calm about it. Look, I've seen a lot of people do it as well. The whole now to make it muddy look, or dirty look, or greasy or oily look. And it just doesn't work so well. Because, yeah, it can come across as untidy. It's funny, to make something look dirty and damaged and worn is as precise as making it look clean. You know what, I might even come back in here again with some black, with some null oil just around the base, just around the bottom. But it's starting to come together. If you can see through the damn shadows. No, you can't. Okay, that's really bugging me. I get a good lighting setup, and then I don't know what, I changed something. Something's different, and everything's annoying me tonight as a result. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. That's actually coming along fairly well. Ah, diaphragm corrosion. Use a finger to flick. Oh, so you dip it and flick it. That'd be a nice spatter effect, wouldn't it? That'd work. Or what's the other one? Like you get an old toothbrush and go do the bristle spray. But if you didn't do that right, it'd literally look like it's someone sneezed on it, which could work for Noodle, but wouldn't work so well for this. Okay, so now I've got the question: how do I make? Well, let's just give it a go, I suppose. I mean, if it doesn't work, I can just go over it again, can't I? Where's me silver gone? There it is. I'm slowly doing transition. The toothbrush thing does... Yes, please. Please show me. I still haven't figured out how to show things... a link in screen... in stream yet, but I'll certainly check it out. Where would the silver... maybe in there. Yeah, right. Need a smaller brush for this. Oh, Orky boys. Gotta get the Orkies done, mate. Alright. So where'd that go? It's only visible on one side. How irritating. Still. The big hip ball joints in there as well. So that makes sense to make that silver. That'll be a constant wear point. Replace it. Don't know if you can see. Okay, you can. You see the reflection in there? Just in there. I'm gonna go and put some metal in some of the joints there will make it look a little bit more realistic. There'll be areas on a big mech, even on a great big mech like this, that would still be plain silver. No matter how big it is. I'll do a little bit in there as well. And these little, I don't know what these look like, vents or something, or exhaust points for the engine. I'll do them up as well at the back. Now, I do want to talk about the Indomitus set very shortly and all the new stuff, but I'll do that in a minute. I want to just focus on this for 1 second. Alright. Got some shiny bits happening in there, as there should be. That a big stompy boy. Thinking I might do it up in the arm sections as oh, hang on. Here we go, we have a link for me to have a look at. Whoop. Off to Twitter. Don't know if my computer's going to handle that. It's got an aversion to Twitter. Oh, it worked. Oh! That's really nice, Var. That looks really, really clever. See, I can never make mine look that precisely damaged. I can never make it look weathered and yet exactly as it's meant to appear. Mine just look like I don't know what I'm doing. I have to work on that. That looks really nice. It looks muddy and spattered and generally damaged. Oh, very good. I like your big robots too. I just need an excuse to get some of them. They're amazing. Very nicely done, Var. Very, very nicely done. Okay. I think I'm fairly happy with that. Little bits of subtle silver in there, a little bit of subtle metallics. Now, dry brushing the metallic on that other thing, that's going to be a hassle. I don't even know what sort of metallic to use on that. On that icon, that lovely icon there. Don't know what to do on that. I mean, silver sounds obvious. Gold would be cool, but gold isn't going to stand. I don't know if gold's going to suit the rest of this mech. The blue stripes that look damaged is yeah, thin layers of background paint over the top. That's kind of similar to what I did up here to make it look a little bit weathered. It has come down to practice. It would come down to practice, and because I was very, very bad at it, what, maybe 20 years ago? Yeah, it's been a long time since I tried. So, you know, it's just probably old memories of not doing very well, affecting my thinking now, which, you know, that sounds like everyone. Color. What am I going to do? All right, while I think about it, I'm going to use... Yeah, exactly what I did. Okay, cool. I am going to put some more contrast paint on the rest of this plasma gun because it makes me feel like there's progress happening. And I think I'm just going to come back and hit it with a shine, like manually shine it up for the glow effect. Because the other way was technically excellent. It was kind of fun to do it. Because what I did, I did silver, and then I did bright silver, then I did white, and so it technically kind of looks like it's glowing, but for all that effort, it still looks like a couple of light colors covered in contrast paint. So I'll do it the other way as well, which seems to suit me better. Okay, whoop. Now I think I might go back in with a different color wash and do those pipes again. Probably get in there with a. I'll go with my sepia and hit those pipes with the sepia just to differentiate them. So it makes it stand out just a bit. I suppose this is going to be the point where I've got to stop fiddling at some stage, because it's one of those models that there are so many details. You can just keep going and going and going. If I wanted to trap skits in a loop, or a lot of my other painting friends who obsess about details, these minis are the ones that would do it. It's just, there's so much to work on. Mind you, one thing I have noticed with my practice and experience, I'm no longer scared of using a big brush to do small details, because accuracy is good, but at the same time, sometimes if you can use that big brush to do small details and get effective overflow. You know what I mean? Like even the splat effect can be used to your advantage. There we are, slightly more coppery. I suppose the other thing about trying to put too much detail in the weathering and damage on these mechs is you end up being out of scale. Like manually putting in paint chips on this thing would look good at the scale that we're looking at it, until you figure out that those paint chips will be bigger than a person in some cases. So you can end up messing with the scale of the big mechs visually just by trying to do the fine details that in fact wouldn't be that fine if once you ramp the whole thing back up to true scale. Oh yeah, with commissions, that's right. You do commission painting, yeah. I suppose you can, because you're only doing what you get paid for, and you don't want to, set a standard that everyone takes advantage on if you overdo it. So yeah, that makes sense. I'm thinking, oh, there we go. I'm thinking that's looking pretty nifty though. Never overdo a paint job. Yeah, if it's your livelihood, you need people to pay for the extra if they want the extra work. You find yourself doing pro bono work real fast otherwise. I hear it's really hard to do, particularly if the model's excellent. Like if it's a very cool model to paint. Here, stopping yourself can be a real hassle then, because it's no longer about, oh, I don't want to give away too much value. It's more, this model's awesome, I don't want to stop. Okay, I think that's That is coming along quite nicely. Quick, more mud. I should go get one of those texture paints, particularly for the muddy feet. That'd be cool. I'm just wondering if it's too thick for the scale of the Mini. Why is that as dark as it is? Yeah, alright. There we are, back in scale. Yeah, that is actually coming along. Oh, Fabius Bar model. He was a huge treat. Was that a commission one? Or was that a personal project? I'm imagining from your response that Fabius was... Oh, okay, yeah, right. It was your own then. That's good. I honestly don't think I could do commission painting. I don't think I have the time. Or if I did have the time, I'd run out of energy. And then I'd be operating purely on guilt. And that's not the way I like to do my hobby. Yeah, just money flies out of the account when something particularly excellent appears on the radar. There's nothing we can do about it at that point. Actually, that reminds me, I'll show you one of my characters I recently did up. The Inquisitor from my Imperial Guard army, actually. I really liked the character. I thought it was a brilliant looking character. And so that one was a no-brainer for me. No-brainer at all. Just putting a faint amount of sepia around the bottom of the legs there, just for a little bit of colour. A tiny bit of variation. You're probably not going to be able to see it on camera. There you can a bit on this font. Just a little bit of discoloration, just because I want it to look a little less clean. But at this point, I don't have the confidence in my skills to attempt extreme weathering. Probably will. I'll probably give it a go, but just not on this miniature. Yes, that one's Cinder. Yeah, I finished her off. I'll show you. I'll show it to you in 1 second. Okay, that's not looking too bad for the weathering. I mean, for the shading. Oh, damn light. Yeah, I need another light source. Now that I've noticed it, now that I've realised what I've done wrong, it's really getting on my nerves. It's too late to get another light source, I think. Maybe. What time is it? 9:44. Don't want to waste your time by running off at 5 minutes trying to find a light. But I've got to get the Dragon Lady anyway, so... she's right there. Okay, one moment. Where's the microphone? There we are. That was a formidably unflattering angle of the camera. Good grief. Remind me never to do that again. I'm not that chunky in real life. Well, I hope not. Anyway, moving along. Quick, quick. Oh, my self-esteem isn't looking. Um, Here we go. This is my that. Let's see if I can fix the focus. Oh, there we go. Here we go. This is my Inquisitor lady. Forgotten her name, but she's amazing. She got a pet dragon, and she's marching across a marshy field. I think it's really cool. This mini. It's one of my favorites. Let's try something here. Just because I want to. Oh, bring her into sharper focus perhaps. Nope, 280 is the best. Okay. But yeah, so I've decided the inquisitorial color scheme is going to be black with red, like the half-half. And I love that the shoulder skull and the little dragon. It's a very awesome miniature. I just had to get it the moment I saw it. That one I wanted. And happily it's even got a good color skill set or stat line, which is nice too. Yeah, she's absolute radical Xenos Inquisitor, which fits into the game world that I've set up because that regiment, that whole regiment, is based off is one of the regiments in one of the RPG, the Dark Heresy games that I ran. Skits had a character in that called Winters, and there's also in the Space Marine game that was run on the same planet. They've interacted with this regiment before, so there's a whole bunch of story happening there that I'm able to then turn into a on the table army, which is just fantastic. I love doing that sort of thing. The only downside is if I ever get to play it and lose, I'll be very sad because all my cool characters get stomped on because dice rolls. Yeah, don't make that face at me, girl. Joanna's cheering at me because I get upset. Is that what you're doing? No, what are you cheering for? Oh, and they liked it. Okay, no, we'll do it. Oh, well done. My wife just had a tech victory. She's gone and done a techie thing, which is rare for her, and it went very well. Well done, honey. Excellent work, sweetie. Alrighty. Okay. Well, that the battle Mallard is coming along close to complete. I still don't know how I'm gonna. Actually, I'm gonna highlight those. Here's something. Here's something I shouldn't try, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm going to attempt. Oh, both Var and Cinder say hello and well done. Hello and thank you is her response. It's a great achievement when you're not very tech minded and you manage to pull something off. It's great. Okay, I'm going to attempt with the very finest of blues, a little bit of reflective in the cockpit window. And it worked on that side. You can just make it out, I think. Just enough to make it the cockpit look like, or make it more visible. Because whilst blue on green looks very good, it is hard to distinguish at times. Oh my gosh, I did it twice. And that camera angle is terrible. And you can't see because of the shadows. I'm going to throw things. Mainly a tantrum any second now. Blast. Anyway, it looks good from here. I see it. I like it. Alright. Metallic. The metallic. Alright, Var. What do you think I should do? Come on, mate. Hit me with your wisdom. Part of me just wants to leave it. I think that's a part of me that's scared of fiddling with it. Alright, I'm going to be back in a second. I'm really going to try. I want to really want to try the second, this extra light source idea. So I'll be back in a minute. Have a think about my question. What should I do? A gold, a silver? Should I do a blue metallic, a red metallic? What should I try and do for that? And I'll be back in a moment. Where is that little thing? Here we go. I'll be right back. Are we back? Oh, we're back. Hello. Okay, so I've got my stupid idea. Let's see if my stupid idea works. I just knocked everything around. Okay, so that's it with the current lighting arrangement. Almost no damn difference. Apart from, you can't see me more. That's great. All you got there. How close I have to be to make that? It's not a very strong light. That's the only other light I got. It makes pretty much zero difference. That's fantastic. So great. So glad I went and wasted everyone's time doing that. Yeah, all it does is illuminate my arm and my face. How does it not get to the shadows on the Mini? Look at that. My arm? That's all it does. It's show you off my weak little forearm, and it does nothing for here. Alright. Now I've just got a hell of far too many lights on my table. And a sulk. Anyway, what was everyone saying? Let's have a look. With that part of the leg, you want to paint silver with blur shading. Blur? Blue. Oh, right. Silver with blur. Let us do some silver and blur. Okay, well, no, keep writing Swedish. It's my favourite character on the Muppet Show, the chef. I got in a lot of trouble saying that to one of my Swedish mates at college. But they call him the Swedish chef. They don't actually call him the Danish chef. They lie to us. Great. Fantastic. Can't even trust the Muppets. It's all over. Okay, so get in there with the silver very carefully, because as you can, why is the lighting suddenly work? Oh, I don't care anymore. As you can see, that edging in there, if I overlap it, it's going to be really tricky to tidy that up with a grey. Alright, so that's probably far too big a brush, but the smaller brush is going to take too long. Accuracy over speed. I have to go with accuracy on this one. For an impatient painter like myself, that's a little bit of a stretch, but we'll give it a go. So it is actually, I just thought it was someone making words up. Like, I honestly just thought it was someone being silly. But if it's actually a actual representation, that's I suppose impressive. Okay. Don't rush it, Murray. Accuracy over speed on this one. You've already made a mess. Good work. There we go. They do make the words up. Can maybe something if they're trying to talk English while drunk, and slurs hard. Otherwise, he uses no Swedish words. Well, that's somehow disappointing. That's really quite disappointing in many ways. Don't know why it's so disappointing, it just is. Well, no. Well, actually, yes, I can expect them to. Hmm. I mean, you find a Swedish person or someone who can speak it, and you say, hey, do this voice. I hold the Muppets to a high standard. A keystone of my childhood. I'll expect nothing but the best from them. Thank you very much. Alright, so there's the silver. There's a little bit of overlap. There's splatter in there that I'm really unhappy with, so I'm going to have to go back and fix that. So what you're saying is I should jump in with the blue contrast paint over that silver and hope it looks okay. That's what you're telling me? Hmm. I am not convinced, but then again, I wasn't convinced about most of this paint job, so hey, what's another thing that I'm not convinced about? I'll just do it anyway. In a second, once I clean up the splat. Okay. Take a chance on me. Thanks for that. You just got that. Got from ABBA's Take a Chance jammed in my head now. Great. Take a chance and jump. Righty, I'll give it a crack. I'll just replace it with Riff Raff's version. There we go. That's much better. Alright. Now, I understand that with contrast for things like this, look up ABBA Riff Raff. Va? Look up Riff Raff ABBA or Riff Raff cover ABBA. It's an AC/DC cover band doing ABBA songs as if it was sung by AC/DC. It's crazy. Anyway, do I want larger brush for contrast? If I understand, you don't want to go back and forth too many. I don't know if I want to go back and forward too many times in it. I'm told, but no. Let's experiment. This whole damn model's an experiment, so it shouldn't make much difference. In particular, Super Trooper, or Take a Chance. Those two by Riff Raff are kind of spectacular. I kind of expect you to get offended, and I'm sorry in advance. Sorry, just trying to hold my breath so I can at least control my breathing a bit to see how the blue ends up. I think it's okay. I'm honestly not sure. I'm probably going to go around the edges of it with a black wash just to give it the darker edges back again. Oh, no, there we got splatter in there again. Yeah, that's great. Yay me. Yeah, I'm definitely have to go and give it some edging in there with a much darker wash to return the dark edges because I like them. Pretty sure this is not the way you're meant to use contrast paint. I hear people say you're just meant to use it like a precise yet generous wash. I'm being too fiddly. I'm not getting the I'm not getting the wash effect. I'm not getting the blue settling into the. I'm not getting the deeper colors settling into the cracks. I'm just getting this kind of like faint thing going on here. Okay, I'm just gonna have to get a little bit more aggressive with it. Okay, dry brush the silver. Well, I kind of figured that, but I'm glad to hear that I figured correctly. Yeah. So, Var, you're saying dry brushing silver over the top? Yeah, I was right. That Super Trooper, that's so good. It shouldn't be anywhere near as good as it is, but it is. It's fun. Okay. Well, there's that. There's your metallic blue. Terrible lighting. Ah, that's what I've done slightly different, I think. I wonder if that's going to make much difference at all. Alright, let's try that idea. So I've shifted my lighting rig around so that I could actually access my paint area just a little bit easier. And in doing so, I've changed the actual angle and dynamic of it all. So I think if I put it back to the way it originally was, yeah, it's a bit better. It's not, yeah, okay. Good, good, good. Good, 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 good. There! Neutralised some of the shadowing. Good, very happy, very happy. Fun fact, there's an ABBA museum in Stockholm. I'm not entirely surprised by that, to be honest. I mean, I didn't know it, but now that I do know it, there is no surprise registering here. Alright, that blue doesn't look the worst, I'm quite happy to say. I don't have to ban VAR from the channel. I wouldn't do that. If I ban VAR from the channel, it reduces the people that actually regularly come here to what? 2. Alrighty. Just gonna go around the edge of that blue with my black wash again. Just because I like that hard dark edge. I don't particularly want to lose it. I will then have to do a little bit of tidy up with the grey to make sure the hard dark edge isn't absolutely overwhelming, naturally, but Should look okay. I've got to take a chance, just jammed right up there in my brain now. That's not gonna go away easy. Okay. Yes, I know you probably would, VAR, and that is an effective threat, I must admit. Thank you for that. Oh, I better bring my water thing back, otherwise I'll be leaning across my camera shot every 10 seconds. And now that the possibly lighting's a little bit better. Oh, you can see the blue on her a little bit better. Oh, she looks so much better now. Happy with that, yeah. And I decided to make not. I decided to go against the model design and not make her a white chick. I've got a lot of variation in my in the nationalities in my Imperial Guard army. The Imperial Guard don't care where you're from, as long as you run forwards and die properly. That's all they're interested in. So I like her. I've actually got a bunch of female Imperial Guard heads from a third-party supplier, Victoria Miniatures, which are particularly good at that sort of thing. So I've got it's a equal opportunity obliteration army. Okay, so that's coming along fairly well. Oh, I've been using the hairdryer so much for my general modelling of late. It's been humid. It's been raining constantly here, and it's been really humid. And if it isn't raining, it's prepping to rain. So nothing was drying quickly. But yeah, got the hairdryer out and off we went, and I managed to speed up my production line quite nicely. That's very true, VAR. They don't care. White skin, dark skin, male, female. They don't care. Run forwards and blow up. That's all they want you. You just got to get in the front line and do your duty, which is mainly not to come back again. 40k universe is not nice, you know. It's a rough place. But okay, that's coming along. And yes, you're right, Cinder Pidgey. What would skits do? Skits would stab. You're right. That's pretty much her line of thinking. Okay. Okay, campus. Yeah, you can see that slight yellowing there much better now. And the blue looks better. Oh, well done, Murray. You figured it out, mate. It only took you like an hour and 10 to realise you'd killed your own lighting rig. Look at that eye. Look at it. Look, he's looking at you now. It works. Ah, so good. You know what, VAR? Honestly, I think the Chaos side is just honest about it. The most honest army is the Orcs. There's no politics. There's just war. Uh, they're the only ones that are really, truly honest about their position in the universe. Okay, I think we're almost done here, people. I'm just going to tidy up that splatter that mess I've just made of the leg. It's not a mess. I mean, it's perfectly exactly how I want it. I just have to tidy it up. Now, VAR, tell me what you think about the Indomitus box set. Because when I've seen it looks amazing. If I collected Marines or was interested in Necrons, I'd be buying that box set. Now, as it is, I'm only interested in the rules, which I really like. I love the idea of the Crusade concept and that sort of thing. That RP element to a 40k game, an actual proper, almost properly thought out campaign setting style thing. I love that idea. But what are your thoughts, mate? points at Chaos, these are the bad guys, points at the Imperium, these are the worst guys. Sometimes, in some ways, yes. In other ways, no. I don't, yeah, again, I don't, there are no good guys in the 40k universe. That's pretty much clearly defined. That actually looks really good. Thank you for your advice there, Var. And with one little slip of the brush, I've made a mess down the bottom there. Oh, I see what that's meant to be. Well, okay. I've now noticed there's a little detail in there that all blends together. So I can either half kill myself trying to make sure I get that detail exactly right, or, when in doubt, paint it all blue. All of it is blue now. There is no extra detail. It's just blue. Which, visually speaking, works better than some little nibbly bit that's meant to be grey like everything else. Stuff that. I'm not playing that game. I am not getting that trapped in the details. Especially when there's a really unhelpful little rivet right in the way that your paint pulls around, and then it just doesn't work. Yeah, I go along with that, Var. Imperium, bad guys. Chaos, worse guys. That's the truth. Alrighty. But yeah, Var, are you happy with the Indominus box you picked up, mate? You think it's worth the effort? I'm getting a lot of mixed reactions out there. Some people think it's the best thing I've ever done. Others think it's a bit overhyped and they wish they hadn't bought it. Oh, sorry. You have a chat with your friend, that's all good. And I'll continue chatting to myself, which I'm, quite capable of doing. Oh, and Cinder, how is the knitting coming along, by the way? That's something I forgot to ask you, Cinder. I'll do that thing that sends skits nuts. So most people, yeah, look at it, it's touch dry. No paint comes off. Yay. Oh, it's on hold. Intentionally on hold, or things not quite playing out on hold? Where's me other damn brushes? I had more than that. They just haven't come across. Oh. That is way too big. That is way too small. This one's in the middle somewhere. Well, congratulations, you're now a temporary dry brush. Ah, can't focus. Must do another thing. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Alrighty, let's try a bit of, as suggested, slight silver dry brushing, just to pull out those high points. You don't want to lose all the effort I've just put into making the blue, but at the same time, if it's too blue, it also doesn't work because it looks a little pants average. I do dislike that about a lot of contrast color schemes I've seen where people just, there's no effort afterwards. It's just contrast, we're done, moving along. But I think that works quite nicely. No, no, you miss your friend. It's go. Talk to your friend, Var. It's all good, mate. You know, friendships are important. They're hard to maintain at the best of times. So you go deal with that. You go hang out with your buddy, and if you want, and I will catch you next time. All right, you do your thing. But that is looking very nice. I'm rather pleased with that. I think that's played in quite nicely. The blue on the ankle plays in. What do you reckon, Cinder? I think it's looking quite nifty. I'd say this is almost done. The only big problem now is this flaming plasma gun, which is looking a little less than cool. I mean, it looks alright, but it's far too blue. I'm going to have to go heavy on the dry brush, on the silver for this. I want blue undertones, not blue overtones. Undertone, overtone. Pretty sure I used those words wrong, but doesn't matter. Now the glowy bits, on the other hand, that's going to take a little bit more finesse. I have to build that up. Right, I'm going to go with a brighter blue. English is hard. It's very frustrating at times. I don't know enough of it to say everything I want to say, but I know, but I end up just saying the same thing repeatedly with slightly different inflection, which has a similar effect. It's very bizarre. Alrighty, let's hit that with a lighter blue because I don't want to hit it with silver because then it's just going to look like every other part of the Alright, so it's a mild improvement. And now very faintly with the white. And if it doesn't work, I'm just gonna, hit it with a different color entirely and be done with it because I'm not playing games with this color. Faint bit of lighter blue. Okay, that's getting glowy. That's not looking terrible. Apart from the side, which now looks terrible. Because I'm overdoing it because I haven't learned how to stop it. Just gotta make I've got to make the other side match, not wreck it. Okay. Looking slightly glowish. It's okay. And now, as strong a white as I can get in the center of the glow. Okay. White, pure white is such a strong color. This may not work. I think there's too much on my brush. Needs to be very fine, very light. Lightest of touches, which I do not have, and there we go. That's an example of not doing a light touch. Damn it. But, kinda, yeah, you know what, that's looking pretty okay-ish. I think that's kind of looking like a glow. It's really hard to sell. I think that's alright. So hard to tell. Alright. And now what I need is really strong, untainted white. As white as I can possibly get it. Right in the middle there. Think it works. I think that actually works. Yeah. Wow, I think I pulled that off. Or at least as good as I've ever done it before. I'm trying not to think about all the other people I've seen do this much better, because that doesn't help me. But that, I think, is one of my best efforts for the glow. There we go. You need a glove for digital art? I don't follow that one. I don't follow that comment at all. Sorry, Cinder. I don't know what you mean. Like you need to wear a glove? Or... No, like that can be the only... That's the only interpretation I can pull out of that. Is you need to wear a glove to do digital art. Okay. I don't know why, but alright. Okay. For the first time, I think, in a large model scale like this, I haven't used red. That's an achievement for me. Normally you've got red in there somewhere. Just gonna put a little bit of blue. Just dab some blue on the nozzles there. Okay. Ah, your hand makes lines and dots when touching the screen. Right, I see. Okay, so it's like so that it tricks the tablet into not recognizing where you've touched it on the touchpad. Yeah, that's what you mean. If that's what you mean, that makes sense. If it's not what you mean, well, it seems plausible. Oh, good. Yes, I was right. Yes. Okay, that makes sense. I think I don't see much else to do on this guy without overdoing it. You know, like I can't just keep doing this every session. So I think. Oh, hang on. Did I? I did dry brush the snout a bit much. I think. I might do a couple of things on the nose and then some, and then that'll be it. Can't help myself. It's very nice that Var's friend called up, and they're getting to catch up. That's very cool, especially since they don't catch up often. It's always nice bumping into people. Get a chance to catch up, especially when you haven't seen them for a while. I consider the priority situation. It's always, should always be a priority situation, to be honest. There we go. A little bit of shininess in the face, or on the teethy bits, well, the grill that's meant to represent the teeth. I'm using a really bright, or much brighter silver now. I usually only reserve this silver for particular highlights on silver or weapons or areas that might have a bit more need of a pop. Like I always use it to fake reflection. You know, like when you want to force where the light would be reflecting. Or could be reflecting. It's an effective little technique. See, that gun now looks a little shinier. Where are we? There's some extra reflective points on the twin las. I think it's a turbo las. Just little details like that can really make the model jump out a bit at you. Which, after all the effort I put in this rotten thing, I do want it to stand out a fair bit. Okay, where else can I put some of that reflective goodness? Not many other places, to be honest. There's not really many other spots that need that degree of shiny. Maybe on the front of the plasma gun. A single line of it across there to catch the light. And up. Don't do that. And maybe on those little knobby bits. Yeah. Probably not terribly obvious to you. And that sort of detail, but it does make it look a little bit more worn. Just a little bit more stand out. There we go. Okay. I think we're pretty much done on this guy. I do believe the Battle Mallard is done. Can you see anything that needs extra work there, Cinder? Actually, maybe a little bit of dry brush over those yellow bits. So it'll keep the yellow, or keep the yellowing, but then just bring the edging out a bit more. And then I think the Mallard is complete. Thoroughly ineffective. I think that's so dry it didn't do a thing. There's a difference between dry brushing and just hope. You know? There we go. It's a little bit better. Okay. I think it's just down to painting the base up. Yeah. Now, I've got myself a basing material that I'm going to be using. It's basically just it looks like ash. And since most of these big mechs will be stomping through a destroyed city most of the time. That sort of seems appropriate. At the same time, it's kind of boring. So I don't know what to do with that. I think I'll give it a base of brown to begin with, and then build up and build the base up from there. Basing is fun, can be a little bit difficult, but I also got to be able to do this in such a way that it matches the scale. So if I go and get some of the regular basing material I use for my other minis, like the grass and the shrubs, well, technically I go put some of those shrubs down on this thing. That's going to make those shrubs about the size of a forest. So that does prove itself to be a problem in many ways. So I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to go about the base. And, little pebbles that you'd normally put on other minis suddenly become boulders, huge rocks and obstacles in any other scale and setting. So that's going to play out a little different, possibly a little difficult to get right. But we'll just have to see. I use a dark brown because, yeah, real fine sand. Real fine sand. That could be interesting to do. But yeah. I use a dark brown as my base color because then whatever I put on top, there's just dirt underneath. So if the green flock doesn't work as well as it should, oh no, you can just see through the ground. It's not anywhere near as big a deal. It's almost impossible to see any difference on camera. But there is difference there, and it is uniform, which is the other thing you got to do, because you got to get paint spatter and everything. And it helps me think about what I'm going to do for the rest of the model when the base is looking uniform at least. Because the model is never really done until the base is complete. Alrighty. Alright, that's almost all the edging on this one done. Okay. Base is all brown now. All a single color. So then I can worry about doing the actual base and try to figure out what on earth I'm going to do for that. I may have to go pick up something specific. Get some proper fine sand, cracked desert floor. I do like the idea of the cracked desert floor. That's not bad. I could do a combination actually. I could get the fine sand, some ash, put it together, look like dead ground, and then get the muddy texture paint to put down and experiment with that, because then it could look like a cracked, dry, like riverbed or mudlands or something. It can't just be all mud. It's got to be something else. You've got to be able to tell a story with the base. For example, hang on, I'll get a couple of these guys. I'll grab this one. For example, this is one of my Battletech minis, right? And you see the ground there. We've got fine sand, we've got lumpier rocks, and we've got some different sorts of grass. So it actually looks like the sort of terrain that you'd find in a version of reality. You see like that? I'm thinking that scale or that style of terrain for this guy, but make it in a desert or a damaged environment. Yeah, because you take that style and transfer it across, I think that could work. Yeah. Yeah, alright. Alright, well that'll be another video. That'll be next time probably. I'll do the basing video. Brilliant. So I've got half an hour left. That's something that's unusual. There we go. That's an hour and a half. Hour and a half later, I've finished the Battle Mallard. I'm really quite happy with that mini. Despite the color scheme irritating me, no end at the start, I'm actually fairly fond of that. I do believe the Battle Mallard is the new. It will be my new. Will be the channel mascot. I think. Oh, color balance just went out. There you go. Yeah, I think that's going to be a thing. I think this is the channel mascot, I think, from this point. The Battle Mallard. Very pleased. Very pleased with that. You reckon it's lobster time, hey, Cinder? Alright, lobster time it is. Whale shark can just have to wait. Whale shark can go over there with the little baby whale sharks. Lobster time. Now, I think I've got a fair bit on the underside to do with the lobster at the moment. Gotta put some more dark metal in there. Where's it gone? Where's my dark metal? Gone. There it is. Aha. Lobster time. Nope, don't want that one. Don't want that one. I want this one. Would you like me to do the basing on camera next time, or shall I do it in between and show it off at the end? What would you prefer on that one, Cinder? Does that interest you, the basing effects? Plus, some of them I've never done before too. Or should I jump straight into stepping up my game to the next Titan? Should I put myself through the trauma of trying to blind build? Oh, blind build a Reaver. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do a little bit of dry brushing on these ugly, ugly bombs. You reckon? Reaver? Now I've got a new song in my head. Fever. Except it's You Give Me Reaver. It's terrible. I'm sorry. Kind of. Would you believe I'm mostly sorry about that? Orange on the lobster. Suppose I should have done orange as a much... Oh no, what was that? No, come back! Damn it. Sorry, got it back. Ow. Ribs. I should have done a lot more orange on my on the lobster, I'd say. But at the same time, it's such an ugly, ugly colour. Wasn't I even on camera when I was painting before? I wasn't, was I? I was over here. Yeah. Yeah, that's a terrible movie. Not as bad as the Avengers, the not the Avengers Marvel, but the Avengers the TV show. That was truly terrible. I'm still nowhere near as sorry as I should be about tricking you into watching the Jonah Hex movie. But you get that. Alrighty. More orange on the bombs. Okay, so we got, that's the bombs looking extra orangey, which isn't too bad at all. Now I've got my dark bronzy and metal drying on both in those areas. I just need to give them a little bit of a touch up with a dry brush, not too much, because then it will lose its effect, the extra dirty grotty effect. I'm really happy that the shark tooth pattern actually came back and worked out all right. That made me very pleased. But now it's time for silver dry brushing on this sucker. Let's see how close to finished I can get on this one. Because I'm not far off it, I think. I think the lobster's almost done. Yeah, it looks better. A little bit on there. Yeah, don't want to overdo it, but just enough to pull those highlights out so you can tell it's meant to be metal, and then it kind of like just influences the rest of the look enough that, well, basically your brain fills in the gaps. Yeah. See on that side there? How it's just enough to look shiny enough to be a metal engine, but it's not so silver and stand out. That's the idea. It's certainly not meant to be super stand out because it's grubby in it. And the orcs don't really pay that much attention to their maintenance until bits are falling off. There we go. Do you reckon, hey Cinder, do you reckon I should, or anyone else that's listening, oh man, that white balance is just terrible. Does anyone think I should put the silver in there? I'm thinking I will. I'm thinking I'd like to put the silver in there. But what y'all think on that idea? Yes, do it. Yes, done it. Alrighty. Doing it. Again, not too much. Just enough to give the idea. Enough to give the visual clues that that's what it's meant to be. Yep, you're right. Look at that. Oh, that's pretty. In it. So, as you can see, there's lots of dark in there, lots of grot and grime, but still looks shiny enough to be exposed metal, unpainted exposed metal. Love it. Love it. Once again, the council's opinion and advice is good. do the other side, or the underside on this particular engine. Hey, hun, how you doing, sweetie? You doing okay? You going to bed soon? Yeah. I've got about another 20 minutes on this. Sorry? Yeah, about 15 to 20. And then I'll be calling it a night myself. Okay, look at that. There we go. Looking good. Thank you, darling. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. That lobster, yes, darling. You remembered it. I'm very happy with that, actually. I'm disproportionately pleased by the fact that you remembered that. No, that's the whale shark there. What do you think of the whale shark's little happy face, honey? Pick it up, have a look. You're laughing. She's laughing. She's picked up the whale shark. She's having a giggle. So that's a win. That's the whole idea of that thing. If you look at the whale shark and having a giggle, the idea has worked. That's looking really good, guys. Thank you. Lady Joe does indeed approve. They call you Lady Joe. Lady Joe does in fact approve. So that's a win. I'm going to call that a victory. That. Now, the silver over the red side might be a bit strong because it blends okay with the yellow. I'm not sure how it's going to play out on the red side yet. It might be a really sweet contrast with the darker colors. It may stand out far too much. Let's find out. Yeah, alright, that's looking pretty nifty. Not too bad at all. I just got to remember to clean all the paint off my thumb before I go in tomorrow to work. Because last time I went in and I had this half-painted thumb. And then I had to explain why. Oh, people at work, hun. Really? Yeah, they're going, why? They just go, why is there paint all over your thumb? And it's like, oh, using it as a palette. And they say, why are we using it as a palette? And it says, well, it's easier when, because you know, I can keep in focus on the camera while I'm painting easier. And then it's, of course, why do you have a camera on your paintwork? And they say, what on earth are you painting that needs a camera? And I explain the hobby side of things. And then they've got more questions and more questions and more questions. It's like, explaining nerddom type stuff that's fairly commonplace to most of my friends, to people who have no idea what I'm talking about, is unusual. It's a trick. Because it's never like, it doesn't seem silly or unusual until you're telling people who have no idea what you're talking about. Then you're like, you know what, this does sound kind of nuts. Alright, that silver's looking good. Looking good. Alright, good night, darling. Joanna says good night to everybody. And she's heading off to bed. I'll pass on your good night wishes, Cinder. Nope, I don't know if I wanted to do this bit silver, but it's too late now. Let's find out if it works. Oh, it does. Okay. There we go. Oh, my arm. That's coming along. That's coming along quite nicely. Now, I was going to do silver in there, but I'm not going to. I think I'm going to... Oh... It is exposed wire. It is exposed. But do I really want silver up the front as well? I'm not sure. I'll think about that bit. That's a TBD. Don't know if bronze is going to work there either. I don't know if I want to detract from the front at all. Oh, it works fairly nice at the back there. Alright, let's give it a crack. If it doesn't work, I just hit it with a wash and dirty it up and no one will notice. Oh yeah, yeah, that's okay. That's good. That's not too bad. Well, these final details of the silvering is actually coming along really nicely. It's actually finishing this model along very quick. I might get more than one model finished off tonight. Wouldn't that be a shock? After weeks of kind of progress, suddenly things are finished. Rear engines, yeah, it's not looking too bad. Now just for the underside as well. And that's touch dry, so I can silver up this side more. And because, yeah, sometimes you'll peel other layers of paint off if it's just touch dry and you're doing this. But underneath that bronze, sorry, I wasn't on camera, underneath that bronze is that same red again. So it really doesn't matter. Well, if anything, it's just going to give extra illusion of depth. And this is all illusion anyway, so... You know what? It needs a bit of a wash on that side, I think. That looks a bit too shiny. But no, it's alright. It's alright, I think. This is probably the longest I've ever spent painting anything. Like, single miniature, that is. But I've really enjoyed doing it. Okay, that is almost completely complete. Put a bit of silver on this half track. I think the lobster, ow, is pretty much done. Ah, a little bit of work on the canopy, that's all I need to do there. A little bit of tidy up on the canopy, which I'll do in a second. And a little bit of grey on those wheels. And the lobster is completed. I might go a little bit overtime. You know what? I think I might go a little bit overtime tonight just to finish the lobster off as well. Because that is going to feel good. It will, it will. No, that's a crappy... That's the crappy yellow. The better yellow. I'm actually slowly changing all my paints over as I run out of them to the Valero paints, because I find I waste a lot less when I'm using the Valero paints, because it's the little squeeze tubes and you pull out exactly as much as you need, and you're even careful when you're dry brushing. You just got to make sure you got the exact amount. There's a lot less wastage. Gee, I'm loving that look. I really am liking that. Yeah, okay. Oh, crunch goes the shoulder. This shoulder's going to be sore tomorrow. Alrighty, let's go with the... We'll go royal blue. Let's really pull that canopy out. Let's really make that pop, shall we? Okay, sorry. Very silent there for a moment. Just didn't want to botch this because that blue is a strong... Oh, nice. It's a strong blue. It's a very strong blue. And if I get that all over the yellow, it's going to take a couple of layers to fix. Or thick enough layers that's going to look lumpy. Yeah, these Orky vessels, these Orky aircraft are some of my favorites. Just an incredible design. And a heck of a lot of fun to paint, particularly these big ones. The little ones are fun too, but the big ones are particularly rewarding. Oh, line art fixed. Well done, Cinder. This has been a great success for everyone tonight. This is a successful hobby evening. I really like that blue. Very happy with that blue on the lobster there. Okay. Canopy's looking good. And now the last bit is a slightly lighter blue again, just because that's the way it goes. Now, I had two choices. I've got a couple of choices. You go the really bright light blue or the slightly more cloud blue. What do they call this one? Calgar blue. I'm going to go with the more cloudy blue. I don't want it kind of like the screaming, fearsome blue. That's not what I'm after for this final bit, which is just a little bit of extra lightness in the canopy effect, because that lighter blue blends better with the other colors. It's a more gentle gradient in, if you can see that there. See, that's not actually that is a much more gentle gradient, because whilst it's meant to stand out, it's not meant to dominate. It's the tricky part when you're doing this sort of thing. Not wrecking your own color scheme. Oh, that's looking nice, that canopy. I'm really happy with that. It stands out so well. The blue and the yellow and the red all together, that's just grand. Loving that. Yep. There we look at that. I'm super pleased with that. Yeah, that looks quite nifty. Sure, there's a lot of other professional painters out there that are like, hey, that's okay, but what about this, this, and this? But no, I'm really quite pleased with that effect there. That just leaves the wheels, and the lobster's done and dusted. It's a muted color scheme. Even though I dry brush it with a lighter yellow, it's a muted color scheme, and I'm happy with that because I don't want it. Whilst I want it to be bright and orcish, I don't want it to be screaming, which is why that other orange that we originally did, Cinder, was just terrible. It was too much. It's far too much. All right, I'll just put a bit of grey on those wheels, and we're done here. Which brings up which makes 2 models completed in one evening, which is kind of insane. For me, anyway. I'm not too worried about the tyres. I mean, it's not like I'm going to be turning this model over to showing off the tyres, you know. So, again, it's knowing when to stop, picking your battles, blah, blah, blah. At the same time, doing it neat and tidy enough that you're happy to look at it if someone does turn it over. Remembering to breathe, remembering to breathe. And the reason I'm using grey on the tyres is because when I did it black before, all you could see were these black damn tyres. And even a slight angle on the tyres would dominate the view. So it's like, well, I don't really want, you know, it's the rest of the model I want people to look at, not the flippin' tyres. And that is, I do believe, that. I think we're done on the Lobster. Yeah. Very happy with that. Apart from that bit, which really sucked. Don't know why I did that. The last thing I do on the Lobster was average. No, there we go. Okay. There we go. Cinder. That's the Lobster. Lobster is done. I'm really happy with that design. And I'm really happy with the model that the design is on. So good. So very pleased with that. Sorry. We did very well. We have done a very good job here. Ah, quite happy there. Lobster, done. Battle Mallard, done. Well, aside from the base, but yes, Battle Mallard is done. Lobster is done. A effective knight's painting. How about that? And only 6 minutes over time. Very happy. That leaves, for next painting session, will be continuing work on the whale shark, who's just so happy to be here. And all the little baby ones, which I have no idea what I'm going to do with. Because there's enough detail that makes you want to care, but there's 4 of them. And so you don't really want to care. But you're going to care because you want to do them, right? So, yeah, it goes in circles, that one. But there we go. Thank you very much for joining me. It's good to get those done on camera. It's good to have people to chat to. Thank you very much. As always, I hope that the rest of your week is fantastic. that you get some hobby time in, that you get to watch some movies, and that you get to hang out with people you enjoy the company of. Much like tonight, where I've enjoyed your company very much. Alrighty, thank you. Thank you, Cinder, for being my mod. And the sole remaining viewer, as far as I can tell. Have a good one, mate. Take care. And yeah, no, thank you for joining me for the stream. And yeah, have a very good evening. See you next week, eh?